So this weekend I went to my locals for the first time in about 3 months, I want to say. Played Mermail. It was under the current master rule, of course, pre-dual overload. And I managed to get second place with my Mermail deck. This is actually going to be very, very similar to the profile that I did for March 1st. There's going to be some slight differences I'll go over right now. And the extra deck is actually the only differences. So I don't have Abyssalcia, so I'm playing Decode Talker. That's why it was on top of the extra deck. If I had Abyssalcia, I would obviously play it. I'm not playing Decode because I think it's better. I just don't have Abyssalcia. It's over $100, and I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! That much in real life, so I didn't feel like spending the money. And then I played Mud Dragon over the Rare Fish. Rare Fish is really cool. I think Rare Fish is better than Mud Dragon if you play 2 Bahamut Shark, 2 Toad, and you have Abyssalcia. I don't do either of those 3 things, so I played this because it can block impermanence. It's still level 4, it's a water. You cannot bring it back with Coral Anemone because attack is too high, but it's still a pretty good card, and it worked. I mean, I summoned it. Like, when I go to my extra deck, I summoned literally everything in my extra deck, except for 3 cards, which we'll go over later, which isn't literally everything, I should say. Anyway, so we're going to do a locals report. This is something that people have, or one person has commented on, like, a month ago saying I should do, and I figured, you know what, that's a good idea, but I gotta go to locals to actually do a locals report. So I went to my locals on a Sunday. That is important because my locals are typically, they do them like 3 or 4 days a week. I only ever went Saturdays typically, but I went Sunday because I couldn't go Saturday because I was at a League Cup for Pokemon to play a Pokemon card game. Lost, missed top 8 in Pokemon on a coin flip, was really salty, and was like, let's play Yu-Gi-Oh! Again in real life. Went the next day, got second place. Now, there was only 10 people at this locals, because Sundays is less active than Saturdays. Typically on Saturdays when I would go, there would be like at least 20 people, 5 rounds. This time on this Sunday, it was about 10 people, 4 rounds. No top cut, it was just top 2 credit. And I got second place because I lost to the guy who went undefeated with Salamangreat, which I learned are still a good deck because that Link 4 is pretty cool. It also has really nice artwork. So, going into the actual deck. This is the going first Mermail variant. I will quickly fan through it in case you guys don't feel like going and checking out my deck profile. It's literally the same thing card for card. I don't think anything changed from the deck profile a few weeks ago. So I walk in the store and there's like nobody there, and I'm like, okay, is there like an OTS or something going on? Turns out there was an OTS going on like an hour away, and there were some people to that, so that's why the turnout was a little bit lower. And I played some friendly matches against a hero player who, fun fact, I actually traded this hero player a Taco Bell taco for the Vanilla World Chalice Water Monster back when that was a thing because I needed that card for that variant of Mermail. So, funny that I ran into him again. And he was playing heroes, and I did a lot of testing before the tournament, which is really good because I haven't played in real life in months. And I realized that, you know, the deck in practice actually functions really, really well. Sure, playing against heroes, it's not like the top tier most meta deck, but it's still like a really good deck. They can put up really annoying stuff for Mermail to get over, like Dark Law, mainly Dark Law, and Plasma, mainly Dark Law though. And I think I played him 4 games, and I think I won all of them. I feel like I lost one somewhere there. I don't remember. But I actually ended up playing the same person round 1, which was funny. And when I was practicing against him, he didn't have Nibiru's. He had Torrential Tribute instead, and they didn't do anything. So he actually bought Nibiru's right before the tournament started. And in game 2, I summoned Mulan and pro-sniped the Nibiru, because that's how you play Mermail. And that was really fun. Game 1, I have notes here. Let me actually look at them. So game 1, I put up like the typical like okay Mermail board where you're like, okay, I can summon this with a Mulan on board, have an infantry in hand, and that's like about it. I think I had a Toad at some point somewhere. Where's my Mulan? I think I had a Toad at some point somewhere. I don't remember. But I had like something like this, you know, going on. And I just kept popping the Vision Hero stuff. They seemed really good. I'm not too familiar with them. I just saw that they like special themselves, so I just kept popping them. And I won both games, luckily. Thankfully, I sniped the Nibiru. Otherwise, probably would have went to a game 3, not gonna lie. So, round 2, I played Orcus, which I didn't know still existed. I thought Orcus died, but it turns out they're not dead. They're actually still decent. So game 1, I went first, and I put up a pretty similar board to the one I just showed. I did have Toad out that time, though, and they just scooped. I guess they didn't. I don't know if they were playing this time, too. I thought they were playing Shaddolls because I felt like everybody at my locals would play Shaddolls because I know that a few people from my locals actually topped other events with Shaddolls, so I figured, you know, they would kind of, like, copy those decks, sort of. Turns out I was playing Orcus. I figured out round 2, or game 2, because he made me go second, and I knew he was going to make me go second because I just we were talking before the game, and he knows that I play Mermail, and he knows I like going first, so I'm like, he's gonna make me go second. And I should put these backwards, shouldn't I? And then I lost game 2. I don't remember exactly how. I just know that like Dingirsu was really annoying, and I got Nibiru'd, and that's about it. He like sent the Nibiru token, I had nothing, whatever, and attack for game. And then in game 3, I actually chose to go second this time because I figured Orchist don't do a lot anymore. Typically, like the boards that they would make now, it's like Crescendo with like IP Masquerena, and then like they could bring back the Link with Babel or whatever, and like maybe they could have like Simple Skeleton Engrave with the Babel, and then like a Sec Crescendo, like whatever. I didn't care. So I chose to go second, and I did really big damage through his interruptions. I don't remember exactly what he had, but I managed to break everything. I kaiju'd him, I know that. I started in the MS Seals, of course. And I just, like, attacked everything. He had, like, 1,500 life points left after all that, and, like, no cards in hand. I remember he, like, Desires, and he used the Orchis spell. It's basically a Destiny draw. I forget the name of it. Rebirth or Reconstruction, something like that. And he, what did he do? He, like, did, like, a pretty good, like, Orchis stuff the next following turn after I had, like, some monsters on board. And he ended up, like, breaking my board or whatever. But he didn't really do that much damage. I think he attacked with Gizmek and Dingirsu, so that's like 4,000 something. And then he went into IP Masquerena with a set card, and I Nibiru'd him main phase 2 because this fifth summon was IP Masquerena, and I summoned the Nibiru token in attack mode because it had like 800 attack or however much attack. IP Masquerena has less than 1,000, and my Nibiru token was attack mode, and I just attacked for game. And yeah, Nibiru was really good. And then round 3, I played against Salamangreat. And even though Salamangreat have been out for a little over a year now, about a year, I still don't know what they do, 100%. I know Gazelle's really good, and I know Circle's really good. I know Stalio's banned, and that card was really good. And I just walked into Nibiru both games. I went first, and I had Diva Instant Fusion, and I was like, great, I can be greedy and do the super awesome Cross Sheep combo, or I can play it safe, and I can Instant Fusion straight into my Millennium Eyes. Because I know that Salamangreat, they play every hand trap under the sun, especially Ash Blossom, because they can bring it back with Sunlight Wolf, which my opponent actually did, which is that's just not fair. Like, bringing back a hand trap like that. So I summoned this, and then I just got Nibiru'd, and I was like, okay, that's unfortunate. I think I set a Call by the Grave, and I managed to Call by the Grave something, which prevented me from getting OTK'd, and then I just, like, set an Infantry past, and then game 2, I'm pretty sure I opened a very similar hand. I know I had Instant Fusion. And I'm pretty sure I had Neptibus instead of Diva, but I got Nibiru'd again. I just walked right into it. I didn't care. You know, the way I play this Mermail deck, it might not be the best approach. Is I just play gung ho going first, just win within the first couple of turns or lose. That's what I do with this deck. Is it the best way to play the deck? I don't know. Did it work for me? It did, and I like it. So round 4, I played against Shadal, and this was one of the matchups I was really looking forward to. So I was really expecting to play Spiral as well. I thought there'd be more people at this local. This would be a 5-round. And I was expecting at least a few people to play Spiral, and I was expecting not Salamangreat, Shadal, of course, and possibly Lunalight. I just think Lunalight's a really cool archetype that I wanted to play against. But I did play against Shadal, however, it was pure going second Shadal that I didn't realize until it was too late. So game 1, I'm going first, and I have Instant Fusion because I play Mermail, so I always open Instant Fusion. And I summoned I summoned one of these two guys. I don't remember which one. But I was scared of a hand trap. No, excuse me. I had Call by the Grave in my hand. No, this is what happened. I had Call by the Grave and Diva. So I'm like, I'm chilling. You ash me, I don't care. Orchid or Shadal don't typically play too many hand traps in the main deck. I know because I watched a lot of Shadal deck profiles. Because I have a Shadal deck. I got the structure decks. And I got Gamad. And I'm like, okay, that's the one hand trap I could not have played around. Actually, I'm pretty sure I had Instant Fusion and Call by the Grave. And I still Instant Fusion to this. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Because I remember he gammed it, and then he read this to make sure that I couldn't stop it with Gamma, which I couldn't, because Gamma is from the hand or whatever. And I was like, that sucks. And I ended up losing game 1. And then game 2, I was like, I'm going to go second, because he's playing going second Shadal variant, and I'm playing going first Mermail variant. And I've said this a lot in the past, but my philosophy on Mermail decks is going first Mermail decks have a better time going second than going second Mermail decks have going first. Which is why I like playing going first variant, because I sat a ton of going second cards, because that's how you kind of play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'll go over what I statted out typically later. So I went second against Shadal, and I'm like, I know you can Ash or you can Ash Shadal Fusion, and that's really good. So I put in my 2 Ash. I only have 2 Ash. I'm a scrub. I'm sorry. I never bother getting a third. And I put in Gameciel because I don't like Winda. And then I'm pretty sure I put in 3 Dark Ruler and 1 Nibiru because I had an extra slot and I was like, I guess they could summon more than 5 times, technically. I still wasn't 100% sure if they were playing Alistair and stuff. They weren't. At least I'm pretty sure they weren't because I didn't see any Invocation, any of those, you know, Alistair stuff. And I'm like, they could still probably summon 5 times, whatever. So I did this. And they just, like, set 2 back row, I'm pretty sure, in past. And I just, like, slowly just OTK. I had to call by the grave. They tried to swing with Wendy. I got rid of it. And I never drew Ash, by the way, at any of my games. And I sat it in so many times. Typically, I sat in something like this. Maybe the second Nibiru. And then, like, I didn't side any of these cards. Actually, I think I sided Red Reboot once. I don't remember. But I feel like even though I didn't side these cards, they're still needed because you need Droll, which obviously you need. You know why you need Droll. And you need backer removal. So I'm like, I can't really cut these cards from the side deck. These typical one decks I've typically played more combo-oriented decks outside of Salamander, which isn't super combo, but, you know. Anyway. And then game 3... Or, sorry. I think I messed up my notes here. Because it said game 3 I chose to go second. I think game 3 he made me go second. Okay, I remember now. So game 3 I wasn't sure if he was going to make me go first or second. So what I did was I only kept these in the side. 2 Gameciel, 2 Ash. Because I figured, like, if I go first, these aren't going to really help me. And if I go second, they'll help me too. But these help me either way. Like, if I go first or second, it's okay. These can be pretty good. And I'll show you what I set it out now, I guess. Which would probably make sense if I would have done that sooner. But the stuff I typically sat it out was... 1 Megalo was, like, if I needed another card to side out, like, the last card to side out was always Megalo. And then... I actually never sided out Infantry. Infantry came up a lot, and I'll talk about that more later. And I also sided out the Tenyis. The Tenyis were great. Aqua Spirit. And something recently that I figured it was probably a good idea was I sided out Call by the Grave a lot when I went second. And the reason why is because I feel like Call by the Grave going second isn't as good because when I go second, I just want to go Megalo attack for a lot of damage. And I don't really, like, care about getting hand trapped as much. That's why I sided them out. I would have rather had other stuff going second, like Nibiru's and stuff. And these cards, like, they're all good going first. The card that, like, is the worst to side out of all these, arguably, when you're going second, is the 3rd Megalo, because, you know, Megalo helps with DK, like I just said. But sometimes you need an extra card and there's something else to put in. So, anyway, what I ended up doing, because I wasn't sure what he was going to make me do, is I just left these 4 out here, the 3 Tenyis and the Aqua Spirit, for the 2 Gameciel and the 2 Ash. And game 3, he just, like, set past a lot, and it was kind of grinding because he didn't have a great hand. And eventually, I just kept attacking. I know at one point, he Gambit'd my Megalo. He Gambit'd my Megalo, and then he... I forgot what card it was, but he, like, banished my Mermail Link, my Abyssalcia. I forget exactly how. But I know he, like, normal summoned Skullmeister and attacked, which was funny. And he crowed my Dragoons at one point. It was pretty annoying. But, yeah, it was, like, relatively grinding because I didn't have the best hand, but I was able to summon a Megalo, and Megalo's just really big because Shaddoll monsters aren't that big, and I just kept attacking. I had this, like, against Shaddoll, by the way, and somebody was commenting about this the other day, about, like, the Abyssalcias. I really, really, really like the spell one right now. I think the spell one is the best of the 3 right now, because you play against Shaddoll, and they play a lot of spells, but typically they just play fusion spells. They play El Shaddoll Fusion, Shaddoll Fusion, stuff like that, Invocation. So typically, they're going to have to burn a fusion spell. And if you just play this and they burn a fusion spell, they don't have another one, they have no play. That's why I really like this right now. The trap one's cute. Somebody was commenting saying, oh, the trap one can stop evenly matched, stop impermanence. And that's great. It can. But the thing is, I feel like the spells come up more because you don't really have much of a problem putting up monster negates because, you know, if you're playing this deck to its full capacity of Abyssalcia, and you can put out Toad pretty easily, so monster negates aren't a problem. The main problem are the spell and traps, and I feel like spells are just a bit more relevant. Also stops Dark Ruler. Also stops Super Poly, because this doesn't activate. So if and this happened before, it didn't happen yesterday. But I would play this, and they would go Super Poly. I'm like, okay, it's negated. And they're like, oh, Super Poly can't be negated. It's like, no. Read Super Poly. Not that it can't be negated, it's that I can't respond. I am not responding. This just happens. So yeah, that was fun. I ended up getting second place. Unfortunately, there was no like top cut split. It was like more of like a lackluster locals, like 4 round, 10 people, like nothing insane. But I was still pretty happy with how this went because, like I said, it was my first time playing in about 3 months. I'm pretty sure the last time I went to locals and played in this particular shop, or a Yu-Gi-Oh! Local shop, because I play Pokemon a lot now, and the Pokemon stores I go to don't really do Yu-Gi-Oh! Was I did go for the last sneak peek, whatever Radiation Assault, but I didn't play much Yu-Gi-Oh! I just tested a little bit. I played the Pokemon tournament. And then before that, last time I actually played in like a regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, it was before Christmas, I know that. So it was like sometime in December. And yeah, it was fun. I do plan on going again soon when Dual Overload comes out. I believe the 21st is the Saturday it comes out. I'm going to go there. Probably going to bite the bullet and buy Needle Fiber day one. Assuming I can find it. I really hope I can find it. I don't think I'm going to bite the bullet on Abyssalcia yet. I don't think Abyssalcia will get banned. I really don't. But the thing is, like, when there's a ban list so soon and there's a card that's over $100, I really don't want to risk spending $100 on the card just for it to get banned the next week. So I'm probably going to have to rock out with Deco Docker again for another week. Surprisingly, though, honestly, like, I'm going to preface this with you should 1000% play Abyssalcia in this deck over Deco Talker or any. Oh, I almost dropped my extra deck there. Over Deco Talker or anything else. But Abyssalcia didn't come up as much. There was 2 instances where it came up where it was pretty important. Once against a Salamander player, I could have summoned it as my 4th or 5th summon, I forget. And could have, like, blocked the Nibiru. But they got Nibiru and Ash, I know. So, like, it would have been a bit trickier. And against the Orcus player, I could have done it as well when I got Nibiru. But we played Deco Talker instead. I actually summoned Deco Talker a few times. The fact that it was a Link 3 and a Link 4 didn't come up, though, which was good. Because, in theory, I was playing as if this was Abyssalcia, that makes sense. You know? And the reason why I chose Deco Talker, by the way, over any other Link is because Deco Talker has a pseudo negate. Like, if something's targeted, you trip something it points to. Well, there was, like, no other Link I could play. Like, I feel like Boral Sword is just redundant because you're playing Mermail and you OTK a lot anyway, so you don't really need the extra damage off Boral Sword, excuse me. And, like, Saryuja, I thought about Saryuja, but the thing is, like, when I make Abyssalcia, I usually use 3 material, so if I make Saryuja with 3 material, I can special a monster, which, like, is cool, that's great, but, like, I can't really do much else from there. In terms of the extra deck monsters, I did not summon, though, throughout the tournament. I think this is going to be interesting. I did not summon Abyssalcia, which I feel like is typical. I don't really summon this guy that much. Dweller and Unicorn. So the reason I always like to pay attention to stuff like this, I always like to pay attention to cards I sided and cards I didn't side, and then cards in the extra deck I didn't make. So I'm still gonna keep these cards in the extra deck. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like the thing with these cards is they're more situational. You know, you have this card right here, which is really good against Orcus, which isn't really. I should have made it against the Orcus player, I think, but I don't know why I didn't. Maybe I didn't have the opportunity to. But I feel like Dweller is just too good of a card not to play. Same with Abyssalcia. Sure, you could make Calamity's Lost Tradition, you can make this instead, but having a monster negate like this is pretty good. And then I didn't make Unicorn at all, but the thing with Unicorn is a utility card. I made Phoenix a lot, surprisingly. I made Phoenix, like, watch, this was a pro play. No, I cringe a little bit saying that, I'm sorry. But, like, I had, against a Shadal player, they just, like, set 2 pass, whatever. I made Phoenix, discarded a random water from my 5th water, and then summoned Mulan. And then attacked for game. I'm pretty sure it was game. And that was cute. I never made Unicorn, but I like having this card in, like, every extra deck that I play, because, 1, it's a generic Link 3, which sometimes you gotta make a generic Link 3, and it outs, like, a lot of cards. I just liked it a lot. I mean, it's not for Unicorn, I don't really need to explain it. But there's really not much else to say about. Actually, hold on, there's something I want to say. Tenyi Spirits. Not a lot of people play them. I really like them today. Or yesterday. When did I go? Yesterday. I really, this is going up on Monday. Yeah, yesterday. I really, really liked playing these cards. And the frogs too. But I want to talk about the Tenyi Spirit more. So the Tenyi Spirit, like, it just gave me an extra monster so many times. And it allowed me to go into Bahamut Shark Toad without having to rely on Cross Sheep and Instant Fusion. Which, like, I summoned Bahamut Shark so many times. Like, so many times. And the fact that, you know, we're not under Master Rule 5 yet is great. Then now for the frogs, against one of the friendly games against the hero player, I actually made my 1 totally awesome 3 times because I brought off Bahamut Shark, negated something, put itself back, summoned it again the next turn off of the Bahamut Shark that was still there, put it back from a negate, and then hard made it the following turn. And there was a few instances I've noticed with Swap Frog where if this was Master Rule 5, I could have pretty easily made a Toad, like my 3rd summon or whatever, because if you open like 2 of these, you know, 1 Swap Frog, 1 Ronin, 2 Swap Frog, whatever, you can easily get a totally awesome out without using your normal summon, still having 3 cards in hand. And if you have like Neptibus and 2 frogs, you can do so much because your opponent can't really stop you because you get that negate. And you know, you get the hard making the Toad, which means you get 1 out of the deck in the standby phase. Then you get to keep your Toad for the next turn as well. So if they have a hand trap, you get 2 negates effectively. If I'm making sense there, I feel like I was not making sense. But hard making Toad is better than making it with Bahamut Strike, but Bahamut Strike's still really good. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about. If you guys want to see more of these, let me know. I don't plan on doing another one until after Needle Fiber. It's going to be a little bit awkward though, because I do plan on going to locals in between the release of Needle Fiber Master Roll 5, so it'll be a little bit of like a weird format, because like, we'll have Needle Fiber, we can't summon Toad wherever we want. I don't know, I'll probably do it, and then I'll do another one when Master Roll 5 comes around, as well as a deck profile for that, which I still want to test a little bit. Honestly, I don't think my deck profile is going to change that much. It's really just the ice trick is going to change. But either way, I'm rambling. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see more of this. Subscribe if you're new. I will see you all next time, and bye-bye.